From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In tonight's recording direct from Santa Monica, California, we go over this incredible recon that'll pay you an enormous sums of money. On average, about $15,000. The House vote will be happening as early as tomorrow, if not the end of the week, with no let up at hand about that Congressional Budget Office report. The recon will, across all these incredible clusters of checks, pay you on average about $15,000. But no time and place to wait for fourth stimulus to become law, because guess what? Third stimulus is paying money right now, on average $45,000. Viewers have gotten from third stimulus, and in this recording, I explained to you how to get these enormous sums of money across third stimulus right now. Those details in this recording. Then we turn to student loan debt forgiveness as more debt could be forgiven, and then that COLA raise of 5.9%. We got a huge evening's recording. I'm excited you're here as we go into a big night. With that recon passing the House of Representatives, away we go. $15,000 on average across all these incredible clusters of checks, but third stimulus still paying out. The average viewer of this channel getting $45,000, and viewers sending me messages today saying, I got hundreds of dollars from your channel just yesterday. Thank you. Keep on doing what you're doing. You keep on doing what you're doing. Get that pen and paper ready because we got a lot of money. We got a lot coming up in this evening's broadcast with the latest on the vote, the latest on the fourth, the latest on the fifth, and the latest on third stimulus starting right now. I hope you're having a beautiful evening across the globe. And here we go. The House vote on that recon will come in the middle of the night, if not tomorrow, then the night after. The likely vote no later than this Friday, whether or not they have a Congressional Budget Office report. I have the latest details in this recording. Big money in this recon that'll pay you on average about $15,000 across all these clusters of checks. Are there four stimulus checks in there? There are many clusters of checks, $15,000 on average, but guess what? Third stimulus is still paying, and that is on average $45,000. It's law. It's already paying, and you can get that money today. I'm going to show you how to get on average $45,000, which is what viewers have gotten for this channel. Then we'll be turning also over to the exciting details of that big student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven across the board. $10,000 has been offered. It would go by executive order. I have that in this tonight's recording. And then we turn to the exciting details of that COLA benefit raise, 5.9%. We're not done there because fifth stimulus right behind it. It's a big evening's broadcast with third, fourth, and fifth stimulus all together. And we got a lot coming up and a lot of breaking news, a lot of new stuff tonight. And this, my friends, is Evenings LA, America's only financial news channel like this in America. Number one channel broadcast financial news in America, covers stocks. Number two covers the economy. And this covers this subject. You found the place to get the big money. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers and 150 million views in a year and a half. The biggest on the platform of YouTube. But like this video and consider becoming a member. Let's go over what we're going to cover in tonight's breaking news. We're going to first go over the incredible vote. The vote on that recon in the House will be done. It's exciting. Then we're going to go over each of these clusters of checks that pay generally these massive sums of money. I'll explain to you generally what they are. Then we can come back and go over the details of every check one at a time so you know how to get this money. Then we're going to take a back step to third stimulus that is currently law. You don't have to wait around for this one, and it's paying people thousands of dollars on this channel. Average of $45,000 you can get as a viewer of this channel. Then we'll be turning over to fifth stimulus and student loan debt forgiveness. We got a big broadcast, and with that, let's start with the exciting details of this fourth stimulus recon. The fourth stimulus recon will pass the House of Representatives by the end of this week, and that For Stimulus Recon has 3 clusters of checks in there with 2 add-ons so far. Across all these checks, there's about $15,000 on average in there for you. Are there checks this for Stimulus Recon? There are, across many different programs that'll pay you on average $15,000. You have to learn how to get it because guess what? You're not going to see this in broadcast media. You're not going to see it in print media. You're not going to see it in your local news. They don't try to show you or teach you how to get the money. I've been doing this since day one, and there we go. Let's go over with the first cluster that got in there. Hazard pay. That is that earned income tax credit for my essential workers back-end checks, $4,000 of elder care front-end checks, and then $4,000 of front-end checks for caring for young children, $550 checks for Pell Grant recipients, then money front-end checks for repairing of that home in a low-income community. They got in there also $12,500 checks back-end for the purchase price of a new electric vehicle, U.S. auto manufacturer. Wow, that is the first cluster of checks, all going to be passed by the House of Representatives later this week. The first add-on comes from Maxine Waters for free money to go buy a house. Excuse me? Yes, free money to buy a house. Sound too good to be true? It is that good. Maxine Waters, the wonderful legislator from Southern California, got that provision in there. She wanted $25,000. She got a little bit less. It is free money for the purchase price of your first home. It is incredible. How do you get this money? Stay with me. Later in this video, we go over the details. I know you want that money. Here we go to cluster number 2. We got in there home repairs and paid leave. The paid leave, front-end check, household tax credit, back-end check, pre-kindergarten, front-end check, and then we got in there a home repairs. This is weatherize your home. You know, whether or not you weatherize your home, it depends on whether you want to or whether you don't. Just weatherize, I don't know whether I should weatherize. You should weatherize your home so that you look very festive for the holidays. No, that's winterizing your home. These terms are just, I never said weatherize in my entire life till this channel crew was created. Weatherizing your home, whether you want to or not, you really should. Let's go to the second add-on. It comes from Bob Casey. He's the wonderful senator from Pennsylvania. It is huge, and it is not a check, but a benefit. It's $250 billion of it for that home health care, free across the board for my seniors and people on disabilities. Yes, free home health care. More about those details coming up later in this video. Stay with me. Let's go to the third add-ons. Oh, wow, it's getting deliciousness right here. We got in this third cluster of checks. We got free meals for all checks. We got cheaper prescription medication. We got immigration reform. We got farmers. We got free internet. We got also the exciting details of independent contractors and then the Medicare expansion. Medicare expansion. 2 provisions will be in the House signed bill this week, and then 3 are going in on the Senate side. Oh, what'd I do there? Oh, I know what I did. Yeah, you're not going to see me because I weatherized the broadcast. What is that? Well, let me just talk to you through while I try to figure it out. There I am. So that part is solved. Yeah, it's like you're not going to see me for the whole rest of the broadcast. You'll just see weatherizing LALATE the whole rest of the show. So what did they get into this big reform? Well, first, what they got in there on the House side is the hearing aid and also the Medicaid gap. They got that in on the House side. The Senate side, Bernie represents, they're going to add in there the dental, the vision, and also the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. Incredible. Which brings us to our third add-on, MSC, monthly or multiple IRS stimulus check. Not going to be in the House bill, can be in the Senate bill. Legislators who are senators have said to the viewers of this channel over the last few weeks, thousands of them, that they would be added in there. You need to advocate with them. The 2 C's, the 2 S's, and the 2 W's. Casey Coons, Warren Wyden, Sanders Schumer. What's important to understand is they have 2 opportunities, very obvious ones. First, Vote-A-Rama. Second, subcommittee of the Senate. What's at issue? Well, the senators say they have a lot to add to this recon, and they do. So you want them to send it to the subcommittee because that's when they can add a lot of stuff in there. The other opportunity is Vote-A-Rama, the final 2 process of the entire recon when they call a thing for a vote in the Senate and then they introduce amendments. A Vote-A-Rama is led by Chuck Schumer and overseen by Chuck Schumer. But here is where the equation gets fascinating, and the equation is very fascinating tonight. As in just less than 3 days, we have refocused the viewers of this channel. Why? Because while MSC is important. While you should take your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for advocating for the 2 C's, the 2 S's, and the 2 W's, you should take your Thursday and Friday for at least 2 days a week getting third stimulus money, which is available right now. What's at issue? I saw people in the live chat saying we need MSCs because I need my rent, I need my utilities, my mortgage, my food, my internet, my clothing, my holiday meals, my small appliances, my weather, my homeless people in the shelters. That's all covered under third stimulus and the nonprofits. You don't need to wait for fourth stimulus. It's pay now. And as one viewer said this morning, thank you, LA, for that recording. I now have $550 in my wallet today that I didn't have yesterday because you brought back third stimulus. How do we get this money? It's coming up in the second half of this video. So you don't have to wait around for fourth stimulus. There's third stimulus that's paying for those items. I'm going to show you how to get it. But first, we're going to go over that House deal. That House deal is done with that voting on the recon passing the House of Representatives this week. Whether or not they have a Congressional Budget Office report, no worries. Those programs of fourth stimulus will pay you on average about $15,000. I'll show you the incredible programs in the fourth stimulus that'll pay you about $15,000. But we're also going to go over third stimulus that's going to pay you that has paid viewers on this channel on average $45,000. You can get that money right now. You don't have to wait across the board. Student loan debt forgiveness. More debt will be forgiven by the president if the Democrats take the offer. What is it? I have the details. And then we turn to the future with this stimulus coming up in just a few weeks. This comes after the 5.9% COLA raise of your benefits coming on January 1st. Those details and more as we go into a big, bold second half of this recording. I'm excited you're here. We got a lot coming up. And get ready with that pen and paper because I'm going to show you the moolah. I'm going to show you the money. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LALATE as a House deal is done. And we're going to have that vote this week, my friends, and finish on the South side. Our recon is going to be passed, $2 trillion recon with or without the Congressional Budget Office report. The breaking news is no one really cares about it anymore. And that recon, fourth stimulus recon, will pay you on average about $15,000 to start. I'll explain the other sums of money on top of that. Then we'll be turning back to third stimulus that is now going to be that has paid the viewers of this channel on average $45,000. I'll show you how to get that big sums of money across the board. Then we'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness. The exciting details of that student loan debt is that there's a $10,000 offer and the Democrats should take it. And then we turn it to the big money of that fifth stimulus, 5.9%. Not enough. There's stimulus coming right behind that as well. As we go into a big, bold broadcast direct from Santa Monica this evening, I'm excited you're here. And with that, subscribe. America's most talked about financial news channel, and you have found it. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Next up is Dean's Countdown and then Stream Stimulus, part of our 3-hour programming block. One video takes you to the next one. So sit back and sip that $12 ice cream. And here we go. As we go into the dramatics of a second half of this video, away we go with that recon. Your incredible recon will pass in a vote in the House of Representatives this week. Nancy Pelosi solidified the deal with the moderate Democrats over a week ago, and they confirm this week that they're doing exactly what they so promised. They're voting in favor of the recon, and that vote will happen as early as tomorrow, if not the day after. She loves a Thursday night vote, so we're going to be watching all that. The vote will happen this week, and it will happen whether or not the Congressional Budget Office report will be available. We still believe the CBO report will not be available this week, and guess what? Moderate Democrats don't really care anymore. The moderate Democrats, a series of comments today, said that we've had enough indications from Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, the White House, and other Democratic caucuses that suggest the entire recon is paid for. So we really don't need the CBO report to confirm that. We believe what we've seen. Away we go. These 4 stimulus programs will pay you on average $15,000. Are there checks in the 4 stimulus recon? There are a lot of them that pay you about $15,000 across all these incredible programs. How do you get them? You get that pen and paper ready because we're going over them right now. The first program that is in this recon that pays you a lot, a fortune, is paid leave. What is this? This is if you have to stay home because of death, illness, or birth of a new child, someone in the household, not COVID related. Now, understand that if you don't work, but you live with someone in the household that does work and they have to stay home because of you, they're going to get paid. So you want to learn this information to tell them because they're going to get that money for the household. How much does it pay? A lot. It pays $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. $400 a week if you make $15,000 a year. How many weeks? Up to 4 weeks per year. Whoa, that is a lot. So your son or daughter has to stay home from work to take you to the doctor. They get paid for it. And the great news is that this is deliciousness, and the eligibility is even more deliciousness. Who's eligible? Everyone. All income levels, whether you make $200,000 a year or $20,000 a year, whether you're a W-2 or a 1099. And there you go. The next check that's in this recon is really quite good, and it is a back-end benefit, and it is the SALT cap being raised up. Currently, if you go to pay your state taxes, and let's say you pay $15,000 of state taxes, you go over that federal tax return, you can deduct it as a deduction, but you can't if it's $15,000. Why? Because the 2017 Republican Trump tax overhaul says you can only deduct up to $10,000 of what you pay in state and local taxes. No longer the case. They got in there $72,500 that you can now deduct on your federal tax return of what you paid in state and local taxes. They got in there $40 billion of free job training. Really good, especially even for my seniors. I have a lot of seniors who are ready for fifth stimulus because it has a provision in there. You can go back to work and still receive your benefits check. When that happens, you can now get a part-time job and get trained for free for that job. The Medicaid gap fix, a biggie. This is for people who have been waiting for that insurance, medical insurance. In 12 Republican-led states, the governors refused to pay for Obamacare. They call the holdout states. Now the Democrats got a workaround plan, and that workaround plan will allow the Democrats to provide private insurance in the recon to low-income uninsured people in those 12 holdout states. Which brings us to the best part of this entire recon, the fourth stimulus recon, the housing part. $150 billion in the fourth stimulus recon for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, home repairs of low income, weatherizing your home, all types of homes, and for the purchase price of your host home. By comparison, third stimulus had $47 billion in there for rent, utilities, and mortgage assistance. Here is where the channel's viewers have been refocusing. They've been refocusing because on Saturday, I saw a lot of people in the comments saying they need to get that fourth stimulus done right away because I need to pay my rent and my utilities and food. And I said, hold up. You can get that on the third stimulus. It's still law. It is law, and it still has lots of money. And literally, we have moved mountains in less than 3 days. So let's take a step back to third stimulus, which is still paying out today. If you need the following items to be paid for, do not look forward into the future to fourth stimulus. Look backward to third stimulus because it's already law and it will pay you this money right away as early as tomorrow. What are the items? Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, food, which is SNAP, and also clothing, small appliances, small nominal repairs like a broken window, and small appliances like a refrigerator or furnace. That is the nonprofits. How much have viewers gotten from third stimulus? On average, viewers of this channel have gotten $45,000 from third stimulus. I've been covering this type of money on this channel for over a year, and they've been doing great numbers of viewers since last year. But it really ramped up on the third stimulus because there is so much of it. There's so much money. So if you want your bills paid today, do not look to the future to fourth stimulus. Look back to third stimulus and get that pen and paper ready, because I'm going to show you how to get your bills paid today when we cover third stimulus starting right now. Third stimulus involves rent, utilities, mortgages, food, and more. We're going to start first with rent. Let me show you the graphic on the rent that the viewers of this channel have gotten. 3 months ago, this was the graphic on rent that viewers were getting. They were getting on average $20,000 to $30,000 for rent 3 months ago. Now they're getting upwards of $40,000. Why has it grown? For a few reasons. One, they have gotten better at doing this, the viewer. Second, that they've gotten multiple rounds of rent, which you're able to do. Where do you get this rent? Okay, here we go. You're going to reach out to 6 places. You must, M-U-S-T, reach out to all 6. Do not reach out to one and get a no and call it an end. No. Each place has different eligibility. They have different pots of money. If one says no, you reach out to the other one. You're going to reach out to all 6, and then if you do have an issue, you reach out to the 5 nonprofits. Here are the 6 places. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, State House Authority. They are also featured in the newsletter for members. The keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. Now, here's something also you need to know about rent. You want to read the newsletter if you're a member about that money that came out from Treasury so that you know what it is before you make the phone call. Number 2, if you got rent before for this channel, you can get another round. Number 3, you need to apply for rent as many places as you can. So don't apply with one place, apply in multiple places. You can get rent paid by multiple sources at the same time. And just go everywhere with that rent and get it paid for in as many places as possible. Utilities. These were the numbers on utilities that viewers got 3 months ago. They're now grown to about 15,000, but they're going to go up even higher. Why? Because the heating oil numbers and things like that. CPI number released last week, Consumer Price Index, shows heating oil went up 49.1% year to date, the highest increase in nearly 30 years. There's going to be lots of people asking for heating oil assistance in a few months. Get the money right now. Utilities. Reach out to all your utility companies. You reach out to them directly and say, I need utility assistance because of COVID. Next, food. Don't look to force stimulus to pay your food. Get on SNAP today. SNAP eligibility is easy than a stimulus check. You pick up the phone and call Department of Agriculture. If there's one program I've gotten more people success with than any other, is probably SNAP, if it's not EIDL. SNAP has been a massive win. Viewers have gotten astronomical numbers for SNAP from this channel. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year over the next 10 years. That's going to be $250,000 because of this channel. What is SNAP? You get it's food. You get it from Department of Agriculture, and there you go. Then you want to get multiple sums of money. You don't want to stop with one item. Notice this graphic. This was supposed to be people who got 4 items. I think it was 4 items. Mark at the time had gotten 3 or 2 items, and he was at $32,000. Well, I said to Mark, go back and get more items. He did. He went back and got more items, which brought him to this graphic, 50,000. Notice how many items he had here? He had 3 items, 50,000. Well, since that graphic, Mark got more items. He's now at 100,000. Lorraine, she was at 105 when this graphic was made. Now she's at 120. This is how you do it. I want to tell you about Johnny. Johnny was one of 3 viewers several months ago that started the week with nothing and ended the week with a totally different universe. What happened? He listened to the same type of video that you're watching right now. And by the middle of the week, he and 2 other people that don't even know each other got $45,000 from these programs, from 3 items, 3 programs approving them. 3 items. It was either 3 items or 4 items, 45,000. Johnny, however, didn't stop on that Wednesday. He kept on calling on Thursday and Friday. By the weekend, Johnny got 7 items approved. How many phone calls do you think he had to make to get 7 items approved? Probably about 15. How much money did he get from 7 items? $80,000. Johnny ended the week at $80,000. He started the week at 0. Now, what makes this fascinating in the story is not only did he follow what I said, but he also got rent from multiple places. First of all, he did not stop at just 2 or 3 places and accept 45,000. He kept on calling others and got it all the way up to 8,000. But it's the second half of the story which makes this fascinating. It was what happened the Monday thereafter. Johnny turned over to his family members. Say, hey, you know what? I just got $8,000 from watching that channel. LALATE. Oh, they said, from what? And he said, third stimulus. They said, third stimulus? That's just a $1,400 stimulus check. I saw that on the broadcast TV and I see in the print in the newspaper. He says, no, they don't cover it. Those people don't cover it. What happened was Johnny's family members, who know that he's a wonderful person and have known him his whole life, they watch broadcast media, print media, cable news. And they don't cover this on them. They don't cover how to get an EID out. They don't cover first stimulus, how to get the money from first stimulus. They don't cover how to get the money from second stimulus. They don't cover how to get the money from third stimulus. They don't even cover what the money is in fourth stimulus. They don't even cover the subject matter. And those family members only knew about the $1,400 stimulus check. They did not know this. And so they questioned Johnny, how the world did he learn this? He taught them. Johnny taught his family members. And by the end of the week, the family members were believers, and they each got $50,000. That shows you the power of information. You're not going to see this anywhere else. You're not going to see it in broadcast media. You're not going to see it in the print media. This is the number 3 financial news channel in America right now. The number 1 covers stocks. The number 2 covers the Fed and the economy. And I cover here this. Which brings us back now into fourth stimulus. So let's go back into that housing provision of fourth stimulus. We were talking about the other provisions that are new also on top of that under fourth stimulus. Remember, fourth stimulus repeats the third stimulus provisions like rent, but adds in new ones. And what are those new ones? Repair for the home if you're a low-income community. This is likely just a grant, and you will just apply for it and get the grant. One viewer said, is this automatic? No, it's not automatic. How would anyone know you have a home, let alone that needs a repair? It's not automatic. Then, weatherize your home. Likely all types of homes, not just low-income, front-end check. And then the purchase price of your first home, that is a check that you would get. You'd have to apply for it and get it somewhere during escrow before the close of the home. Great news. They got $550 checks for the Pell Grant recipients, then $12,500 for the purchase of an electric vehicle made in a U.S. auto manufacturing union shop. Breaking news, brand new tonight on this one as well. I go into incredible detail on this channel. You know this well. And last night I learned my reporting on this subject matter was off. Why? Because I thought that all U.S. auto manufacturers, Ford, Chrysler, GM, I thought they build all their electric cars in the United States and their union shops. I thought this was a no-brainer. No, unbeknownst to most people, perhaps even Joe Biden, there is only, at the time of maybe 8 weeks ago, only one car that qualifies for this provision. Awful. The Chevy Volt, and not particularly attractive-looking car either. The Chevy Volt is the only U.S. auto-manufactured union car made in U.S. territories. The vast majority of a lot of these Ford, GM, and Chrysler cars are made in Mexico, so they don't qualify. I did not know. So there is talk that the Ford Lightning, which is an F-150 pickup-looking truck, would be made in Tennessee. That would qualify if that happens. And there's talk that the Cadillac Lyriq will be made in Tennessee as well. So you want to watch this because this is a very fluid situation. Either Biden changes the language a little bit, or the manufacturers start putting more cars into those U.S. plants and taking them out of Mexico plants. Very fascinating. I did not know that. Then we got $65 per child when they're not in school for the child tax for child food. One of the best provisions of Tires Recon is the medication. Medicare, when rolled out 20 years ago, could not negotiate cheaper prices for medication. And Big Pharma could just charge whatever they want to charge. No longer the case. The incredible provision in the recon starts day one. Day one, 20 medications will undergo good faith negotiations with Big Pharma. And they will be the most expensive medication, which is diabetes, cancer, and arthritis. The numbers will be astronomically smaller. For example, an insulin dose is about $900 right now. It'll be $35. It'll grow to 30 medications on the system by 2028. And then year after year, Big Pharma cannot increase the price more than the price of inflation. And if they do, there's a penalty. Now, that penalty is a part of the discussion of what the Senate parliamentarian is going to do when she looks at this recon. Who is she? The Senate parliamentarian is a government official that looks at the recon and determines what provisions belong in a recon which don't under the Senate rules. And Senator Pat Toomey, who's a Republican, says a penalty provision penalizing people can't go by recon. So we'll see if that comes out. We believe, or at least I believe, that the immigration reform provision in the recon will go out. She previously ruled the Senate parliamentarian that it does not belong by recon. Also on the battleground is paid leave. That may come out. We will see what happens. And Republicans just vowing to have the Senate parliamentarian re-review any provision that they think does not comply. Now, will the recon grow bigger than this number on the screen? Absolutely, is my prediction. When I say $15,000 across all these credible classes of checks, it's a very low-end number. Why? Because everything that's repeated under third stimulus that paid you $45,000 on average is now back in fourth stimulus, and then more checks. And then when we land in the Senate, the senators are vowing to add more checks on top of that. Bernie Sanders says the best bill since the 1960s, but a lot of provisions missing, like dental and vision, which were checks when they were last in that recon. They're now out. We have Ron Wyden, we have Chris Coons, we have Chuck Schumer, we have Debbie Stabenow, and we have Chris Murphy, all senators say, get ready for the Senate, because when it lands in the Senate, they're going to make modifications. And with that, get ready with a pen and paper, because it's time for us to go over some more checks in this fourth stimulus recon. Universal pre-kindergarten, that is a front-end check, 1 year. Child tax credit, child care credit, this is a back-end money. Child tax credit, front-end check, $3,600, approximately 1 year. Earned income tax credit, back-end for my essential workers. Home health care, covered benefits, or a check. Hearing, likely just a check to pay for that hearing aid. We went over the housing, and we went over the $550 Pell Grant check, and then we went over the $65 per child per month when not in school. But what else would go into this recon, in addition to the push to add in that MSC IRS stimulus check? Bernie wants to add in dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare because he says, people in third world countries have better systems than we do. Let's go over the calculations of that right now. Medicare is currently at 65. Bernie wants to drop it to 55. Bob Casey wants it at 60. We'll see if it gets in. I don't have a prediction on that one. Dental and vision. Dental was last in there at $850 checks. Bernie wants it bigger. He wants it 10 years of benefits. Very, very expensive. Then maybe 3 years of benefits. We'll see if it gets in there. But the vision is the easy one. It is an eye exam and a pair of frames, one pair of frames per year. Send it out, check, Medicare, people on who are seniors, done. That's what Bernie wants. Check for vision, exam, and a pair of frames. $50, $100, $150 out the door every year, which has spawned the very, very popular and very heated discussion that is a big spin-off series on this channel called Frame Wars. If you've not tuned in for Frame Wars, it just keeps on going on and on and on. What is Frame Wars? It started a few days ago when one person was in the live chat and said, my daughter buys my frames and she pays $450 a frame and Medicare should pay for it. I said, oh, Medicare paying for $450 for a pair of frames? Yeah, Medicare does not shop at Fendi. Medicare does not go to Gucci. And this is not the House of Gucci, and I am not nominated for an Oscar. At least not yet. So, Medicare does not go shopping in Paris. I mean, not Paris, France, not even Paris, Kansas. It's just, $450 for a frame. What are the frames made out of? Mitch's lobster sauce? I mean, Sirloin can't even advocate for something that expensive. $450 a frame. We're not talking about the whole lens. Of course, there was one person who just ramped up in episode 2 of Frame Wars. Episode 2 of Frame Wars, someone said, well, that's fine because I go to a beautiful optometrist. I love him to death. I've been seeing him for many years. And when I go in, he says my eyes are very complicated. Yeah, he sees you coming to the door. He sees your bank account coming in the door. So how much does that guy see you coming in the door with? Well, he charges me for an eye exam because my eyes are very complicated. And a pair of frames, $1,000. Oh, goodness. I don't have stimulus for you. I'm exhausted from hearing that story. $1,000 for a frame and an eyes because your eyes are really complicated. No, I think his billing system is very complicated. That's insane. So if you have a frame commentary, jump in the live chat because I'm sure you do. That will be episode 3 of Frame Wars for tomorrow. So there you go. Are there provisions that are wrong in this recon? Yeah, some of the things don't make sense. I show the tax credit at $60,000 or less per household, not $150. I show the housing a little bit more. I showed $175 billion. I don't show $150 billion. And I show the in-home healthcare actually more. I showed up to $200 billion. So we'll see if they fix that. I have my commentary in a second, but let's go to some student loan debt forgiveness. Student loan debt could be a $10,000 forgiveness during the holidays. Democrats should take it. The president, he is good about a couple things. One thing he's good about, he does not move on his numbers. He gives you a number and he never moves. He does not negotiate off his number. He will not pay $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness. It's just not happening. So at least not this year. So take the $10,000 now, Democrats, Chuck and Liz, and then come back and pester him next year. He previously forgave student loan debts for people who became disabled after graduation, people who went into public service, and people who went into nonprofit sector. Fifth stimulus heats up, and that is right behind this COLA raise. Your COLA raise has been announced by Social Security. Starting January 1, your benefits are going up 5.9%. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and rural benefits. That doesn't cut it. Why? Because COLA has been the benchmark for whether you get more money every year for the last gazillion years, and it's a horrible benchmark. It left you behind pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and after the pandemic. And that's why they first want to raise your benefits up one big time. Then they want to apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation, which is going to be 2 to 3% every year. So it means you're going to continue to get steps up every year. They're going to remove the asset cap and remove the income cap and remove the marriage penalty. Finally, if you haven't become a member, what are you doing? The membership link is under the video. Become a member and get that big newsletter. It comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system that details all the big money you can get under first, second, and third stimulus. It's important to know there's a lot in that newsletter. It features the 6 places you reach out to for the rent, the keywords you say when you say the rent, the nonprofits, all 5 of them you reach out to for those other items and other eligibility. It also features the statement from Treasury that explains to you what that new money for rent is that was sent out. This is all information you need to get because guess what? When the big success stories, when we covered on Month's channel, whether it's Lorraine or Mark or Johnny or Nisi, these are people who learned from this channel and made the phone call themselves. These are not people who called up, who reached out to the volunteers on the community page, said, do you got a tree in the backyard? Can you pick some money off the tree? No. These are people who took the initiative, learned from the channel, read the newsletter, and got it themselves. And with that, that's a perfect segue as we go into the final minutes of this video. Final minutes of this video, I have a lot to go over. And those details I want to go over, some are new, some are slightly old, but they're all going to mesh together. One of the things I want to go over, which is sort of interesting, a new report came out today, it says people are just really not buying into the infrastructure. The President of the United States, of course, signed the infrastructure into law. And as you and I would have told him if we had a cup of coffee with the president, people are just not buying into the sort of the interest. They're not very interested in the infrastructure. Why? Because people want to see how their wallet is impacted. And infrastructure doesn't impact their wallet. They want to see how their wallet is impacted. A new survey out today says the president has a 75% disapproval rating when dealing with the economy. That's not a good number. Now, his overall approval rating is not as bad as a previous recent president, but it's really quite bad. It's not good whatsoever. And what the polls say is that president needs to deliver on the economy. The economy is the recon. The economy is third stimulus. And ultimately, I don't run his government. I'm not in the administration. I don't lean on the wall like Brian Deasy. I am here. And what I can do is I can help get you money. And what's important to understand is that I have to feel a little bit of sadness for the president. Why? Because if it wasn't for this channel, not to toot my horn, but if it wasn't for this channel, you wouldn't know that this money exists. Broadcast media, print media, they aren't covering it. They rather cover Chloe or Courtney or Kim's latest eyeshadow. They're not covering this money. So millions of Americans need to know that there's money that can go in their wallet. There is, but the president's not getting the message out, and the print and broadcast media is not covering the subject matter. And that is why you're here. DNQ. do not qualify. It's a sort of type of person I've seen on this channel for over a year, and they're just out there. They're a person that whenever you say something to them, they say, I don't qualify. How about, I don't qualify? Want to go to lunch? I don't qualify. Yeah, you want to go to the movies? I don't qualify. So when you talk to them about third stimulus packages, they say, I don't qualify. Did you ever listen to the whole video? No, I didn't listen to the whole video. I just won monthly stimulus checks of $2,000 for 2 years, $39,000 of stimulus checks to go buy a new Harley. It's because I don't qualify for anything. That they're out there, and I can't help them. They live in their own universe. What I can do is help you. If you see a D&Q swirling around, whether they are your neighbor or at the brunch you're going to, or they're in the live chat, ignore them. Because those are people that are going to be left behind because they don't want to take the time and effort to learn and apply the information. What's important for you to understand is that this money under third stimulus is available. I absolutely am so ecstatic for you because I really do see how my efforts to bring third stimulus back onto this channel like a tsunami starting on Saturday has really made the difference. I can see the messages coming in on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. How do I get the rent? I've tried, I'm looking, I'm trying. That means it's working. It means people are making the effort. A week ago, I would have never seen anyone asking me. There was no one asking me for rent assistance. There was nothing. I was asking the community volunteers, have anyone been reaching out to you? No, I haven't heard anyone contact us in just days and days and days. Awful, awful. And yet I would be in the live chat coming into this last Saturday and people saying they need to get fourth stimulus done right away because I'm about to be evicted because I can't make rent. No, that's third stimulus. So third stimulus is the ability to pay your bills. You are sitting here today, and we are all advocating for fourth stimulus. We are advocating for the big money under fourth stimulus. But we also are trying to get bills paid today. The bills you can get paid today are under third stimulus: rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, food. Then, under the nonprofits, they will help with homeless people in a shelter, clothing, holiday meals, small things like a broken window, like a glass, like $100 broken window, appliances like a small refrigerator, portable furnace. And then sometimes they do unusual things, like they have paid for some viewers back medical bills. You qualify for this money. You qualify for this money, whether in a red state or blue state, rich or poor, small or large, Democrat or Republican, old or young, on benefits, not on benefits. Anyone that wants to run a sentence, whether it's on a social media post or in a live chat, says there's nothing in, finish the rest of the sentence, nothing in Alabama, nothing in Louisiana, nothing in Knoxville, nothing in San Diego, nothing in, Long Island. That narrative ended over a year ago. And yet there's still people that want to do it. That's the DNQ. That's the DNQ. They believe there's nothing there. I had a nice person in the afternoon show today saying I've had real problems finding it in Houston. That's good. That's a good way to say it. I'm having problems finding it in Houston. He understands, or she understood, having problems finding it, but not saying there's nothing there. That's nothing there is a DNQ type of way of approaching the situation. Nothing in having problems finding in Houston. Having problems finding Houston, then go to the county level. Having problems at the county level, then go to the state level. We got 6 places to reach out to. Reaching out to all 6 places and still having problems, which is a rare circumstance, then defaulting to the nonprofits. I know this because I've made thousands of videos about this. I've been doing this since the worst days of second stimulus when there was very little money. And I would have on air Michigan, get money here. I'd have 5, 6, 7 places to get Michigan. And there would be someone in the live chat that say, there's no money in Michigan. I said, you're a DNQ. I just showed you 5 people got money from Michigan in these places. They said, well, how do they get it? They made the phone call. And ultimately, things often meander in different ways. In the thick of the pandemic, you would have thought there's no money in California. Certainly no money in Southern California. And one viewer said in San Bernardino, which is one of the counties here in Southern California, he got money from the San Bernardino County Housing Authority. I didn't even know there was a San Bernardino County Housing Authority. I just didn't even think that there would be because it's not a very big county in compared to other parts of the country. He followed my advice. He got it from the county. And that is what's important to understand. Allocate your time accordingly. Give yourself some time to call Coons, Casey, Warren Wyden, Sanders, Schumer, advocating for a monthly IRS stimulus check. But also give yourself some time to get some money for these items. One viewer started the day with zero. Yesterday was zero, ended the day of $550. If you have a success story like that, send it to me on social media if you got to money just this week. Because it encourages people, inspires people. And that is what we're dealing with. Don't look to the future for fourth stimulus to pay for bills that you can pay for under third stimulus right now. And when you look at the universality of your bills, I can't get every single bill paid, but I can get a lot of your bills paid under third stimulus. I can't fix a $50,000 roof on the house. I can't change the transmission on the car in the driveway, but I can certainly pay for a lot of other bills. And the most bills you can pay off, the better it is. Average view of this channel under third stimulus, 45,000. Viewers have been doing this for a long time, and you can get round after round, apply everywhere, get applications in everywhere. Phone call after phone call until you get approved. Things kick in, and sometimes you don't know they're going to kick in. I have Kevin Lee, who's a longtime viewer of this channel, during the worst days of the pandemic in April or May of last year, 2020. He heard it in his town of Houston, actually, and got that rent and got his application in on the deadline. Didn't hear back for 2 weeks, and then suddenly, bam, got enormous sums of money. Get those applications on file. And you're going to win. You're going to get this money under third stimulus. It's available now. Hundreds of thousands of viewers have done it. You can do it as well. And the great news is that the money is still available. But continue to advocate for fourth stimulus on top of that. You qualify for the money, pick up the phone, and make those phone calls. In the meantime, join me on Evening's Countdown coming up next, and then Stream Stimulus at 7 o'clock. Then we got shows at 8, 9, 10, and 11 o'clock tonight. Meantime, I've said it on yesterday's show, but I want to say it again tonight. The shows that air from 9 o'clock to the next morning were filmed pre-April, pre-July. They were filmed in the spring. And so if you hear me referring to July, it's referring to July 2021. At the time, Chuck Schumer believed he can get this entire stuff done by July 2021. Some people are watching those videos, having not watched these videos, and saying, are you saying we're not getting any money under the fourth stimulus recon until July 2022? No. Those are videos filmed from the spring in April and May, and they are referring to the future at that time, which was July 2021. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Join me next on Evening's Countdown, coming up right after this, and then we go into Stream Stimulus. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LALATE for more.